Hey, third graders. As you know, this week we've been practicing different strategies that we can use when we're subtracting. So I thought today we would compile a list of all the strategies we've talked about so far, just so we can keep them fresh in our mind, and then we can use them for practice later today. So one of the first strategies we've talked about is the removal strategy, or as we've usually called it, the taking away strategy. So that's when we just take away from a number a little bit by little. So I'm going to model that with 51 minus 26. So when we do the removal strategy, we can start at 51, and then we just take away 26 little by little. And one thing that we can do to make it easier for ourselves is to just jump back by tens and ones. So let's jump back by 10. So if we did 51 minus 10, that would be 41. And I can still do another 10 because we're doing 26. So I jump back another 10. And then 41 minus 10 is 31. Okay, so now we've jumped back 2 tens. So we've jumped a total of 20. We still have 6 more to go. So if we want to, we can just jump one by one. So 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 31 minus 1, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. So using that strategy, we jumped back 26 in all, but we just broke it up into just tens and ones and landed at 25. So that would be our answer there. There's still another way we could have done this. So another way we've done it is finding the difference and jumping from small to big. Or we've usually called it the adding up strategy, because you start at the smaller number and then you add up until you get to the bigger number. So with 51 minus 26, we would do that by starting at 26. Let's see, we can jump to a friendly number by adding 4, because then we'd end up at 30. And let's see, now we can maybe jump by a friendly number. Let's see, 30, 40, 50. Yeah, we can do a big jump by 20, because that's a friendly number. And let's see, how many more do we have to jump? Well, let's see. So we've done 26, 30, 50, and we just need to end up at 51. So we can just do one more jump by 1 to end up at 51. And that was just a jump of 1. So altogether, we jumped 4 plus 20 is 24, plus 1 is 25. So we still ended up at 25. And one more way we could add a 2-digit number is we could have jumped from the big to the small. So with this way, we would start at 51, and we would keep jumping backwards until we got back down to 26. So again, let's jump to a friendly number. So we can, minus 1. Let's cross that out. Minus 1, 50. Let's see, and then we can jump by a friendly number, minus 20. So that would end us up at 30. And then we can just jump 4 more. So we should get from 30 to 26, that's minus 4. And so again, we jumped 20 plus 1 plus 4. And that equals 25, because we can see the distance from 26 to 51 is 25. Now we also practice a little bit with subtracting 3-digit numbers. So let me review with those 2 strategies that we used for that. And I'm going to model solving the problem 562 minus 347. So there's another removal or takeaway strategy for 3-digit numbers. But for this one way we might want to do it is by taking big jumps using what we know about place value. So let me show you what I mean about that. So we can start at 542 or 562. So we can start at 562. And then we can, what I mean by jump by place value is we can first jump by how many hundreds there are. So this is 347. We know there's going to be 3 hundreds. So we can start by making a big jump by 300. So minus 300. So 562 minus 300 is 462, 362, and 262. So we'd end up at 262. Next, we can jump by the tens. And since it's 347, we know there's going to be 4 tens in it. So let's jump another 4 tens. And 4 tens is 40. So minus 40. So then we can do 262 minus 40. And that would end up us up at 222. Then all we have left is just our ones. And there's 7 ones in 347. So we just have to jump backwards by 7. So 222 minus 7, and that would land us at 215. So there's our answer. So when we start at 562, and then we take away 347, that gives us 215. One more strategy that might be new to you this week is constant difference, or finding the difference. And this is when we just shift the whole number over to make it friendlier and easier to add. So in case you don't remember, I'll show you how we did that. So as you know, we need to find the distance between 347 and 562. So we can go ahead and let's just put that in. 547 at one end and 562 on the other end. So how can we make this a little bit easier to add? Well, let's think about how maybe we can round 347 to the nearest 10. So if we just shifted that over a little bit and rounded it to the nearest 10, well, the number in the ones place is definitely 5 or above, so I would round up to 350. So since I rounded this one up by 3, I have to do the exact same thing to the other one. So 562, I would have to shift it over by 3. So I add 3. On this side, what I do to one, I have to do to the other. So 562 plus 3, that would land us at 565. So now, what might be easier for us to do is find the difference between 565 and 350. I'll draw lines for each of them to make it easier for you to see. So it's much easier to solve when you're subtracting 565 minus 350. So one way we could have done that is maybe we could even jump it up to 400 to make it easier. So 350, if you jump by 50, you would end up at 400. And then what's the difference between 400 and 565? Well, I know we'd have to jump by another 100 to get to 500. And then how many more to get to 565? Well, that's just another jump by 65. So then we can just add these numbers. So 100 plus 50 plus 65, and that would equal 215. So I know that one's a little bit tricky, but we'll get some more practice with this as we go on today.